Hello, beautiful friends. Okay, this video today I'm going to talk more, it's more spiritual orientated and a bit more like my past videos than it is politically inclined because I don't know, I think it's quite necessary at the moment. A lot of people might listen to this and think, what the hell is she talking about? But I hope in time, because things are changing and people are changing and in quite a fast speed, I hope that in time people might go back to this and think, yeah, that's exactly right, and I understand now what has been saying all along. Please bear with me also because I've got a horrible cold. It's been really rotten, and I've been, really laid up with it. And so if my throat gets a little bit crackly or I get a bit sniffly, please bear with me on that one. Okay, so the human mind, it makes up lots of stories, we know this, and whilst everything that has life is connected, I think we're grasping that one. Still, human perception of both self and one another is an illusion crossing an illusion. The real us is love. When we focus there, we find connection. And I don't mean relationship type love. We're all stuck in this three-dimensional relating where we can't get past ourselves. And I'm talking about fifth dimensional relating here, where loving unconditional becomes our reality. It overrides any illusion that we have been buying into that others have taught us to believe, that media and politicians have taught us to believe, and that even our parents and our churches, mosques, preachers, politicians, leaders, kings, queens, and teachers and even the twisted stories and history that we've been taught is not accurate. We're grasping that and understanding that now. And this is what's causing a bit of a shift in consciousness. I think we're seeing that we've been lied to all along, and it's waking us up to something different. In regards to our parents and what they've taught us, it isn't their fault and we shouldn't go blaming them. They taught us with what they were given and what they knew at the time and thought was right. Everything that is not love is an illusion that we buy into and we call reality. We need to try not to buy into what we're told is real, where it isn't love. Sorry about my throat there. Everything you hope to be true, even if they are the positive things in life, it doesn't make them true if you're believing a story that is about someone else. And I'll go into that a little bit later. You forgot that everything is what you experience, including the good things and especially the bad. It's all an illusion. It's all a dream, but your brain is awake and it is at all times and is always looking for connection and love. A loving partner who will be loving back. The brain or mind is always connected to the heart. And if your heart is closed, you will live a closed-hearted reality. You will view the world as unloving because you're not putting love into the world. An open heart puts love into the world. It shares love with others. It gives freely. And here again, I'm not talking about exclusive love, relationship love. This comes from after you have learned to be able to love who you are. And you cannot do this with a closed heart. Open heart loves what it knows to be loving, and closed hearts are unloving. The open heart is always connected to the soul. A closed heart connected to a soul cannot reach the wisdom of the soul. The soul is always flowing wisdom, but if the heart is blocked, the wisdom of the soul cannot flow through an open heart to the mind, so the mind remains closed. Where the heart is open and loves without fear and without condition, the flow of wisdom is able to flow through the open heart and is able to flow to the open mind and open the mind. We become open-minded when we've got a open heart. We love without condition as soul wisdom is able to flow through these meridians freely. People often talk about knowing things without having researched them. The soul is connected to the universal library where everything is stored. You are able to tap into this library through open-heartedness and open-mindedness. If you if in life you have a choice over what you want in your life and what you want to be true for you. An open mind sees everything as possible. A closed mind sees blocks, walls to having a happy life. A closed heart causes a closed mind, and the closed mind will make many excuses why it can't be happy or it can't love. A closed mind causes those walls and blocks your life experience, your happy life experience that you're entitled to. Bearing this in mind, there will always be those who will take advantage, and so you must be cautious with your open heart and mind too. This shouldn't stop you from keeping your heart and mind open to possibilities, the possibility that this person before you is honest and telling you the truth. Someone recently told me I will win the lottery. Another told me it's impossible to win the lottery. I wonder, who should I trust? Should I pay money into the lottery because I prefer the story that says I will win? Of course not. That would be silly, wouldn't it? But if I did win, that would be my reality. Until it becomes my reality, it's a dream. One we understand that if we don't pay into life with our energy and attention, we can't possibly win. But many do, as we know, and many never do. We do it anyway. Every day in our lives we do it when we choose our friends, right up to the important decisions that affect thousands, who to vote for in an election or to lead our country. Like with the lottery win, many are willing to pay money, hoping the person who told them that they would win is right. That's the difference between possibilities or truth and untruth. In the end, we are responsible for what we give out. But there's also the chance that thousands of chances that we might just win. The 1,000 chance we won't is more probable. Equally, if a political candidate told you the truth and said, I don't know if I will win, then people wouldn't put their faith in them. Sadly, we seem a little smarter on where we will put our money. That shouldn't be sadly, actually, rightly, we seem a little smarter on where we'll put our money and how much money we might gamble when we are with choices of the heart, and so we get emotionally burnt more. But we wouldn't be doing that based upon faith. We would be doing it based upon how much we can afford, unless we have an addiction, of course. The more we become addicted to something, the smaller the chance of choice becomes, because we don't have a choice, the addiction takes over. And through the chance of winning, though, that may grow, even though that may grow, too, the chance also of losing will grow. And when we're at the ballot box, it seems to come down to faith and choice. When we decide about who to put our cross next to, it seems less of a gamble when it comes to choosing who we want to lead our country. However, we need to question, are we all addicted gamblers when it comes to doing this, or do we really have a choice? If we're gambling what we are gambling on, we've got to, whether or not we are being told more lies, we've got to understand this. We've got to be more conscious of what we're doing and why we're doing it. There is a small possibility we're being told the truth this time. You see, we can't know if another person is honest or telling us the truth. The only one we can know is telling the truth is only ourselves. As an individual, you know when you're telling the truth, the only 100% truth is your own personal truth, and only you can offer it and know it as fact. And even here, the truth that you offer to others is your version of truth in the world. You wouldn't go out in the world and saying I'm a dishonest person, would you? You say I'm honest. This doesn't seem fair to those who do live their life honestly, because there is more people out there who say that they are honest but are clearly not at all. For me, it means I know I won't steal from you or hurt you. It means from my perspective, I'm offering you something that I believe to be right. The thing is that there is no true right or wrong, good or bad even. This still is just a perspective coming from where you stand and from another's perspective, because there has been so many different versions of truth in the world from another's point of view that truth would not always be totally 100% correct. Ultimately, therefore, again, the only thing we can truly rely upon is fifth dimensional love, and this is something that I want to talk about here. The one thing we can all mutually agree on, but even here, love is demonized because of the experience of the third dimensional love and relationships. Marriage is caused to be less sacred, relegated to third dimensional human relating and relationships. A man can offer a woman marriage. He can promise to honour and obey. She cannot promise the same, but in third dimensional relating, nobody knows the future. They can only promise to honour something that is now in this moment. Perspectives change, views change, people change. But does the perspective of being honest change? Can it? True love and fifth dimensional relationships are more than the physical relationship. True love is something purer than this type of love that can be easily broken when two people fall out of agreement. We don't yet understand true love. It is a limitless energy that expands much further than our planet and even our dimension. It's something we have yet to learn about and have to use correctly. Up till now, true love has only been seen as between a man and a woman, but love exists in many forms, shapes, and sizes. It's struggling hard to flourish in our low vibration environment. That's because things like religion, politics, and economy are separating us. The path of progression we are taking is a false progression, and we have been misguided by our own ignorance. Love is not something you save for one person or thing. It's something you give to every person and everything, but without the qualifications that determine whether you deserve it or not. Love is not selfish. We are loved because we are the vessels that hold the energy of love for everything. The perspective of who we think we are is always changing. Other than this type of love that includes all, the other than our deepest character traits, those we have no control over, they are just a part of our innate being from the day we are born. The perspective of how we are and who we are come from the view of various others and will be different because they're seeing through different lenses, the lens of their experience. Even when we try to understand critical lenses, our understanding is filtered through our own perspectives or lenses. No intellectual theory has ever led scholars or to understand the world. We can each use our individual understandings or critical lenses to add even more variety to our many thoughts about the world, but these learned perspectives will never come near replacing our natural ones. However, just like the prospective lottery win, the preferred story will override common sense often. The preferred story for those who have been hurt in life will be one of self-protection, where everyone who resembles that one or those who have been hurt before by that person or that person has been hurt before by will fall into alignment with that story. It won't matter if that person is the most honest, kindest, loving person you will ever meet in your whole life. If that person offers the same or similar story that they've heard before, love, honesty, care, adoration, whatever that person will have the same blueprint within the inner psyche projected upon and imposed upon that innocent person. There are many innocent, honest people who feel the same injustice because it is true that honesty and pure love is rare, and so those people will feel constantly imposed upon by others who have had these bad pasts. The most honest amongst us end up feeling most hurt because of this constant unfairness. The most honest amongst us tend to also wish to be loving and supportive of people regardless of their history and hurt. The more people like us try to love the unlovable, the more we become projected upon and treated the opposite of who we are. This feels unfair and in the end causes pain for those who least deserve. And if people like me were not to tap into this pure love that reaches out to all, regardless of the physical, we too could end up becoming resentful, and this is where hurt and hatred and anger can be a spreadable virus. Honest people speak honestly about how the other person's behaviour makes them feel. This rises up more hurt in the already hurt, causing them to hurt further. To love a person, that is impossible unless that individual chooses to look at themselves and how their behaviour not only affects others' lives but their own too. Many people speak about how they believe in freedom of speech only when they speak it. Yet when someone else says anything about them, all hell breaks loose. From the perspective or viewpoint of one who has had hope of honesty in someone, that hope or honesty is dashed, it is our expectation that is wrong, or the one who has dashed that expectation. We can talk about expectation being the problem of each individual and accept that our expectation is our individual responsibility. If those we care for refuse to heal and they choose to hurt, then it is their responsibility and their choice to remain feeling hurt by those people. It is the one who loves in a relationship only to find that they are not loved in return. Are they the ones in the wrong? I would say no. The reason being is that love and who we fall in love with is not preconceived. However, even in the third dimensional love, that if our expectation is for someone we love to behave a certain way, to expect them to pander to our needs, for instance, or say only good things to us, for example, what if they fail to do so? Are they the bad party, or was our expectation for that person to behave in a way to keep that relationship working based upon our demands of them? This is something I'm experimenting with now and questioning right now. Simply because I have a friendship where the demands are, we are friends only if you say nice things about me or else. This is third dimensional relating. Or else bit is, in any relationship and friendship, it should be a deal breaker. There is no love or care involved where there is an or else I will block you or else I will end this friendship, stroke relationship, whatever. This is something which I've experienced, which for me is very challenging because I'm vibrating now on a different energy and we have, I guess, fallen out of alignment with realities of love. This person expects me to behave in ways where I must pander to their needs, or else they treat me badly or block me. I am actually refusing to pander to those needs. I continue to say what I think. In fifth dimensional relating, it's okay for them to say what they think, so long as it isn't abusive, of course. Nobody should allow themselves to be verbally abused. Even here, I can love them anyway. I get it that they haven't got past themselves and can't meet me in the same way. And it's okay for them to judge me as I am as a crazy person for trying to stay and trying to heal this issue. But I realise it isn't my issue to heal. I'm happy where I am, regardless of what they say to me, and no matter how much they want to blame me or how they think and what they feel. For me, it is perfectly okay. It is just that this person isn't ready to meet me on the same wavelength of pure love. I don't feel controlled where I continue to be who I am regardless of all others' thoughts that don't fit me. Sometimes I'll admit I will get back into third dimensional relating and get back into playing the same game back, being crazy or competitive, and this is where I feel hurt. We have to rise above this way of relating and get into fifth dimensional relating with everyone, even with professionals, judges, leaders. I found a place in me which feels right, and I will continue to love everyone, regardless of jealousy, madness of others, and I'm strong enough to choose to not want what I see as craziness and choose not to block or kick people from my life. There is no fight, there is no standing my ground where I am now, and I can be who I am and send love of the kind of love that connects dimensions and universes, and hope others join me here too. Of course, I am called names because people are still stuck in the third dimensional relating, where they accept that they have to tell others to do as they're told or be called obsessed. To me, it doesn't matter. They are building their walls around them and blocking themselves in, and I'm not being blocked in with them. I'm free. We're all evolving at different paces, reflecting and learning from each other, and sometimes when someone pushes us with so much hurt, they cause us to rise even further and quicker. And as diverse as that sounds, all I can say is thank you and I love you for your gift. What do we learn from blocking those who challenge us with things that we don't want to hear about ourselves out of our lives? In third dimensional relating, what one person calls psychotic, another calls inner freedom. Sometimes we need to drop one form of reality because there's a truer reality that wants to come through to be healed. We can only push it back down for so long before it comes right back up again and demands to be seen and resolved. What one person calls reality, another calls well-mannered lie. Sometimes the most well-adjusted person is the one with the most skeletons in their closet. Sometimes the one with mental illness is the one with the courage to be revealed. Courts of law don't like freedom and honesty. I mean, if we were all to speak with honest truth about ourselves, they couldn't make money out of us, could they? Their healing may take years and ours too, because they are too stuck in the third dimensional relating, and they don't see that in the fifth dimensional relating it does matter how it doesn't matter how they split children from parents. Those children and parents are connected. They always will be. There's nothing they can do to break that bond, and it is the demons on this evil within this evil that they continue to try and create when they bring in forced adoption in order to stop people from rising to the fifth dimension. And fifth dimensional relating, bringing love into the picture, which beats them all back into the third dimension. All of this doesn't happen overnight because the painful, fearful hurts and anger doesn't accumulate overnight either. But it may be the bravest journey any of us will have to take, beyond third dimensional fears and blockages and ego and wall building that keeps true love out. We need to work together to humanize this shaming world and understand that there is a little of us or a little of this in all of us. But to heal it, we must shift. Because right now we continue to reach out to madmen and mad women to lead us. Since we see their values and views as correct because it feels more comfortable and to feel protected by those who teach us to fear so much that we need this continuing hatred and war in our lives to keep putting these evil others that we're taught to hate and fearing those evil others that we're taught to hate. That too is an illusion. It's a dream. It's something we're told and taught from the third dimension. And when we rise, we see that what we've been doing is dreaming all along. if we start resonating with them, when we say those types of people, take Muslims for example, or those people with different culture or different skin colour that we're taught are going to take over and do harm to us. When we do this, we support a demonic evil illness, where we continue in the battle of third dimensional relating rather than get into fifth dimensional relating that Jeremy Corbyns is showing to us, where we are supporting healing, ours and theirs. We must get beyond ourselves and evolve, and we must stop calling this the world problems or world problems. Even here we project what is our responsibility as adults and individuals into the whole world rather than take responsibility for our own individual healing, where, as I've spoken about anyway, we stop feeling embattled or challenged. We understand that this other person is still third dimensional relating and stay with love. Understanding is a form of love. Often these people may well be the only ones who can show us how to integrate old realities with new ones. They may well be around us to show us the way to a more authentic life. Certainly one of those people we can call authentic is Jeremy Corbyns, and this is where challenges and change lies greatest, where we have someone who has potential to lead a country using fifth dimensional relating. Now I know why I resonate so strongly with this person. Indeed, most of us all believe that something bad is going to happen, and we feel it coming. Those on the same vibrational energies know one another without even getting to know them in the physical reality. Right now, it feels like we are at a crossroads, one where we continue down the same road of third dimensional relating will eventually lead us to World War III. The other to unconditional love, fifth dimensional relating, Jeremy Corbyns' version of handshaking and talking regardless of how hard it is to shift the perspective of those who are still stuck in the fifth dimensional way of doing things, and talks across the nation. Where like the MPs who turned their backs on Jeremy and the Tory government, Theresa May and the like, continue to project blame and use this to really do harm. We've seen this all come from as well. We've seen it come from Obama, where we were asked to vote for Brexit or Remain. I do believe that the UK, with power places all over our country, places like Stonehenge, there are power places in position, and I do believe that we're living on a certain grid which causes us to actually grow quicker. We've shown the world that we're here and we're able to defy government pressure, and we keep it's to stop the third dimensional it's to keep the third dimensional relating and war mindedness down, or else scenarios, all the scenarios that go with it. This is where we are right now. I really feel that to resonate with this is to see the way. I truly do believe this. Those who don't believe in somebody like Jeremy, to me, they're not wrong, they are misguided, they haven't actually shifted yet, they're still in the third dimension, and they are sick, maybe ill, brainwashed into believing that war is the only solution to survival. And this different perspective, again, fear is a tool that the media and others use, as I've said before, and it's used to keep us wanting more and more things, and needing to be protected by more violence. So many are afraid to speak up, and this comes from third dimensional relating again, and where we do not see the other as another self. You see, in fifth dimensional relating, the fear isn't about hurting someone else, it's about ourselves, because the other is us having a different life experience. Everything I say or do or take action with it changes who I am and what I am when I am choosing to relate with and use love. So many are afraid to speak up, and this comes from the third dimension. Everything I say and do is a way of behaving, and it has a impact upon our environment and the world, and this goes for every single one of us. Nobody should feel that they can't say things to someone so long as those things are not obviously offensive. They should not be allowed to become verbally abusive, and more often than not, that's the hurt in them rising. When names don't stick, they can't hurt you, and it hurts even more because it's not having an effect. Remember that these names, this name calling, they don't belong to you. They don't belong to you, and they never have. They belong they belong to all of us. It's our responsibility to heal it by fifth dimensional relating. There are distinct differences between third and fifth dimensional relationships based upon the purpose of the dimensional experience. The fifth dimensional qualities facilitate an unconditionally loving experience. Fifth dimensional relationships are no longer a dream on earth. They're realities that we make each other's day by choosing higher dimensional responses to third dimensional experiences. We are an evolving species, and we are being forced into this change. All third dimensional relationships cause us to experience separation, loss, and fear and war. We humans are experts in suffering and hurting ourselves. We have been learning how to destroy our connection with one another rather than honour it, to the point that we were in danger of destroying our civilization and the world in which we live. Fifth dimensional relationships are built to sustain themselves. They externally exist within the context of creation and their experience on the nature of the earth as it's one of the reconnections with our divine nature, the essence of our being. The third dimensional relationship experience live through an ignorant human mind. Right now, we are here being forced to grow quicker as fear of world war is upon us. History reminds us of what we don't want. There must be another way. People are waking up to an evolutionary awareness, realizing that there is more to life than fear and pain. Many are left feeling bewildered, emotionally tortured, through specific patterns of behaviour, having felt abandoned by the soul family in order that this evolutionary process can come faster. You have had to push your mind and thoughts forward. There is a difference between delusional human intimacy versus connected soul intimacy. Our fifth dimensional relationships are purposeful. It's about relating in sacred ways rather than scared ways. They are never casual, nor do they waste our life force on concerns that are significant only in the third dimensional world. Third dimensional physical experience offers the dual experience of success or failure, winning or losing, becoming part of or being abandoned. Third dimensional physical experiences are not only fragile, they end. The concern is over, or the concert rather is over. The competition is complete. A sexual relationship falls apart. Humans are left empty, even after successful moments, looking for ever more physical validation. Soul intimacy provides evolving human beings being with an experience of intimate reverence that facilitates collaboration, equality, and a deep sense of appreciation for the role that is being played, the service being offered, and the love that is unfolding. All involved in fifth dimensional relationships experience a deep sense of satisfaction and joy. This is a continuous experience of life force creativity moving through all of your senses. It inspires you to consciously co-create intimacy in relationships with each other and with your world, as your ability to creatively, sensually connect, and that increases. So does your joy in living. External success versus internal fulfillment. Third dimensional relationships engage power struggles to promote dominance and submission. In the dualistic plane of the third dimension, the ego creates dramas that ensnare the heart and enslave the body. War results internally within families and almost among nations. Third dimensional life is already fragile, but without external allegiances, that fragility gives way to a fearful vulnerability that bursts into panic. Human life is expandable in third dimensional relating. In fifth dimensional relating, love never ends. Threads remain throughout eternity with those you have connected with. Fifth dimensional relationships generate self-esteem as you become aware of your power to lovingly co-create with each other. Your respect and appreciation for yourselves as well as the other grows. The focus of your attention is internal as you grow in life force and multidimensional awareness, understanding the importance of your relationship and its greater purpose in the world. For those experiencing fifth dimensional relationships, vulnerability builds unconditional loving because they're energetically connected to the source of creativity, as Jeremy Corbyns speaks of. Fifth dimensional soul embodied human beings look within for support, direction, and guidance. They trust themselves so that they can show up for each other completely, clearly, and openly. Their collaborators trusting that each other is devoted to the highest evolutionary choices available, opening to learning all there is to know and flowing into the mutual experiences with respect and appreciation. They honour each other and life itself as it unfolds. They are flexible, creative, ingenious, and filled with wonder as they work together on projects that serve the greater good and contribute to life of peace, and their experience of vulnerability offers safety as a way of life. Governments create policies that support the functioning of their nations according to the resources available on their lands and the productivity of their citizenry. As Jeremy said, he wants a government that works towards disarmament, not more arming and more bomb building, and more sales of arms to other nations to kill one another. These linear necessities comprise the experience of third dimensional living, and they require a controlled response to support this dimensional experience of life, because fifth dimensional relationships consciously exist within the unity of creation. Connection is already a lived experience. Completion is valued and honoured. It is not experienced as death. Evolution is recognized as the source of continuity within and between dimensions. Instead of mourning the loss of connection with a loved one, another greater level of relationship emerges. Here's to the paradigm shift we are all experiencing and evolving within. It is the beginning of the end of war-mindedness, and the beginning of something beautiful, wonderful, and enabling and loving. So here's to all of us as we wake up to a new and bright tomorrow. This shift in consciousness we have talked about, which was said would begin in 2012, is happening now. And we're seeing the results of that now. Better late than never, eh? This time in our lives, this is what we've all been waiting for. We're in a crossroads right now, and it is for us to choose the right path. Bless you all, and love to you all. Namaste. Thank you for listening, and bye. Bye for now.